Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Guys, guess what it is? It is match day. Finally, it's match day. We saved the best till last. The cream de la creme. The creme de la creme or the cream de la cream. What's going on, guys? Man United are playing West Ham tonight in what is ultimately a must-win game for Man United. Or is it, guys? Let me know what you think. Does Ruben Amorim have to win tonight? I mean, look, if we have aspirations to move up that table, to have a possibility of qualifying for those coveted Champions League positions, of course, Man United have to win tonight, guys. And it's the sort of game that, you know what, with no disrespect, it's the sort of game that we have West Ham United at home. They ain't doing well. They concede goals. I know that they got Nuno Santos in charge, which is obviously... He's a good manager, in my opinion, and probably would be good at Nottingham Forest still. But I would say that Man United should ultimately win this game tonight and not think about drawing even, you know. And obviously context plays a huge key, or if we go down to 10 men and all this malarkey and stuff like that, guys. But before I properly start, guys, I know it seems like I have. I know there's many of you here who are going to join me today, guys. So please, 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 could you kindly subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video. I really appreciate every single one who smashes a like. It really does help with the algorithms and stuff like that. Because rhythm is a dancer. Algorithm is a dancer. Algorithm is a dance. Just doesn't quite work out, does it, guys? Absolutely not. But please, could you do the rhythm? Because the rhythm a beat. The boogity beat. Absolutely, guys. So thank you so much, everyone who is smashing a like, who is subscribing, those who are lurking in the shadows. Of course, guys. So thank you so much, guys. So let's get into a little bit of a customary transfer news, guys. Let's get straight into it. Now, there is a player, believe it or not, somewhere out there, there's a player. His name is Chucho Hernandez. Chucho Hernandez is a Colombian 26-year-old centre forward, and he's got 7 caps for Colombia and 2 goals, currently playing for Real Betis at the moment. Now, what's interesting about Chucho Hernandez is that he used to play for Mallorca and Getafe, but he did also used to play for Watford many, many moons ago, of course, guys. He's valued at around 18 million euros. Manchester United have earmarked Hernandez, who's been on form this season, 5 goals this season, of course. So Man United have earmarked as a possible signing in January, guys. Valued at around 18 million, which will probably move up to around 25 million. Given the Manchester United tax and stuff like that, of course. So 18 million, Chucho Hernandez, Colombian 26-year-old, 7 caps for Colombia, 2 goals. Now, we remember when Alex Ferguson used to make these kind of signings with obviously Diego Forlan and players of that ilk, you know, bringing them in just to act as cover for the squad. And I don't mind this as long as it is cover for the squad, because obviously we've got the AFCON coming up. Thick and fast, guys. 21st of December, we've got the AFCON. And there is also news about players have to leave by the 15th of December, which obviously is not great news, of course, guys. It is all right because we might get him into Embremo and Cunha, and Ahmad and Mazuri fit him into a couple of more games. But the 15th of December, they have to be let go for the AFCON on the 21st of December, guys. So that is very, very important. And we're going to lose those players for a period of time. So signing players in January, we still need to cope with 10 days there. In January, on January 1st, signing certain players like Chucho Hernandez would help with the squad, of course. So this is ultimately what Manchester United are looking at the moment. They're looking to reboost the squad, bolster the squad, so that we are not left unstuck going forward with the good big games that we got. We've got Aston Villa coming away from home in the AFCON. We got Arsenal away from home in the AFCON, guys. We got some difficult games during the AFCON, and this can make or break us as a football team, of course, as we know. And it is, you know, we're quite worrying, quite concerning, quite anxiety-ridden, of course, guys. Second player of this morning is a player I've mentioned before, is Zelik Celik. Now, Zeki Celik is a 28-year-old Roma player. Now, look, he can play right back, he can play right midfield, and he can play centre-back. Now, he's a very versatile player. He is 20 years old, Zeki Celik, guys. Turkish international, 58 caps for Turkey, 3 goals. So very, very experienced, of course, guys. But the thing is, guys, I don't want anyone to throw your rattles at your pram, because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, but Sal, he's old. We can't have these old fogies in the team and da-da-da-da, blah-de-blah-de-blah. But the former Lille and Istanbulspor player. His contract expires in 2026. So basically, he will be a free transfer at the end of the season, guys. So we'll be a free transfer. So what does that mean? What does it all mean? Well, basically, if Man United manage to cover a position and get a position that won't cost anything, then Man United can concentrate on other positions within the football pitch, i.e. the midfield, i.e. the striker's position, the left wing back position, of course. So this is important, of course. So Man United need to wheel and deal and wiggle their way through this transfer market and through the January and the summer transfer market intelligently, of course, guys. Everything can change. Ultimately, it does depend on whether Man United qualify for Europe, in particular Champions League or not. That Champions League money is a lot. 100 million would make a huge difference, to Manchester United, of course, as it has done with Liverpool and Arsenal and other teams like that. We do need that Champions League money. 100 million can go a long way for Man United. It can get us a striker. You know what I mean? It can get us someone like that in. It can get us a midfielder in, It can get us like cash. And this is the thing. So we have to make sure that we don't fall further behind, because the more we fall further behind, the 100 millions are going to Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. They keep going there and they keep pulling away further away from us, of course. Now, with the unpredictability of the Premier League, we saw that Chelsea lost yesterday to Leeds United. Absolutely yesterday. That's what we're talking about. This Premier League is ridiculous at the moment. Anyone can beat anyone at the moment, guys. And you know what? We have to be on our guard tonight. Tonight, we have to be on our guard. Sunderland, of course, drew with Liverpool, the irrelevant Liverpool, of course, guys. You know what you say? You don't mess with a good man. You don't keep a good man down, because you know what? You will get that juju on your ass. Absolutely. And that is what's going on at the moment with Liverpool, guys. And then Liverpool are slowly crumbling into the abyss. Man United need to capitalize. Man United need to make sure that we sort ourselves out. Don't worry about them now. We sort ourselves out. We beat West Ham and we move up that table. And that is what it's all about at the end of the day, guys, getting up that table. I'm expecting 9 points from 9 in this next 3 games, guys. I don't know about you, but I look at West Ham beatable, Wolves beatable, and, of course, Bournemouth beatable. Bournemouth are not playing well this season. So we got Wolves away, the only away game we got, but we got West Ham and Bournemouth at home. So we should really be getting 9 points out of 9, guys. Come on. You know what I mean? I'm turning into Italian. Look at this. Mamma mia. We have to get those 3 games won in a row, guys. It's so important that Man United do ultimately move up that table. And you know what? By the next 3 games, if we get 9 out of 9, we're in the Champions League positions. More likely, we're in the Champions League positions, and we can move from there. Of course, guys, then it gets on to the AFCON, and then that is where it's going to get to the nitty-gritty. It's going to get difficult. You know, we're going to lose players, etc. So, you know what? We have to ensure that we look after the bread and butter, which is this next 3 games, and then we take it from there, of course, and see what happens, of course, guys. Let me just say good morning to the great community of Stretford Post. I hope everyone is doing good, my guys and ladies and gents. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing my friend. Good to see you. David, good to see you back. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're very good morning, Sal. Afternoon, even all Man United fans. We better get 3 points today. We're going to get it, David. No worry about that. Big up Roy, what's going on, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Man United played Newcastle. Was that the game that got booed? I think it was one of those games, but he got booed. But look, when I bring in that game, Roy, anyone would have got booed if they got substituted, because in that game, I don't know whether it's Tottenham. I think it was Tottenham. When we lost 3. I may be wrong. It might be Newcastle. But anyway, what I would say is that he got booed. Anyone would have got booed who got substituted, because the fans were absolutely infuriated with the performance. He was just made a scapegoat because he was the one who was substituted. Anyone could have been substituted that day and anyone would have got booed. And that's what I say. But what is the mark of a great character? The great character of Xerxes, he bounced back. And that's one thing I admire about Xerxes. All right, we may think of whatever we think about Xerxes, but for Xerxes, he doesn't give in. Xerxes never gives in. He's always fighting. He's always believing, and he's always coming back. He's never gone. You know, now tonight is the night, of course, that he can score again. Let's go on a little bit of a run. Let's go on a goal-scoring run. Let's do it, Xerxes. You scored that great goal against Crystal Palace, guys. Absolute great goal. I don't want to have anything go Henderson should have saved it. It was an absolute brilliant finish from Xerxes. Now, let's bring it into the game tonight against West Ham. And let's bag a brace, my son. Let's bag a brace and let's see what we can do going forward, of course, guys. Absolutely. Of course. Big up, Roy. We cannot play like we did against Everton. This is one thing that is concerning the PTSD around Man United fans, which is understandable, of course, because obviously we won the hard games and we lost the easy one, so to speak, against Everton. Now, the Everton game is the reason we lost that is just like why Arsenal lost to Man United last season in the FA Cup. We all remember Man United beat Arsenal with 10 men at the Emirates, right? 120 minutes. The reason is it's never easy to play against two banks of four, and when the team is sitting back, it's hard. You have to utilize your facilities in regards to free kicks, corners, set pieces, all that malarkey. Spread the pitch out a little bit. You've got to be more quicker in the play. And I hope, because I know that West Ham are going to come to the game today and they're going to play that low block. I know what they're going to do, guys. We know what they're like. We can read them like a book at the end of the day. West Ham are going to come to Old Trafford tonight, and we should be expecting for West Ham to be playing a low block today. And we should be ready for that low block. Now, I'm looking at West Ham. I don't see anything that fears me to death. Like, oh my goodness me, they got him, he got him. They got Bowen. He's a decent player. I wouldn't say he's a great player. I don't even think he should be in the England squad, to be honest with you. There's far more better players. But Man United should be capitalising on it tonight. This is the kind of game that not only Manchester United, but other teams in the Premier League, whether it is Wolves at home against West Ham, Wolves would be looking to win that game. This is what we're talking about. So Man United should be looking to win that game today, and not only winning, but winning comfortably. Of course, if we don't win comfortably, just get the bloody 3 points, get the 3 points in the bag, and we move on, of course, from there. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, it is all about the 3 points and moving up that table. Goal difference may play a part at the end of the season. We have to remember that as well, of course. Right, no, that was the game where Bayender made 2 howlers. Bayender has made a lot of howlers. Sal, I hope we win today. We will be up top 5 if it can help us massively. We will be in the top 5. Fingers crossed we'll be in the top 5. Won't quite make the top 4 yet, but if we win the next 3 games, of course, against the Wolves and against Bournemouth, Man United can quite possibly reach the top 4 by Christmas. And that's not going to be bad, is it? You know, how many people at the beginning of the season, if someone said we'll be in the top 4 at Christmas, how many people, and be honest with yourself, would have taken that? People would have snapped your hand off. They would have snapped your hand off and said, yeah, we'll take that top 4 at Christmas. Let's take that, guys. Now, we have a possibility to do that. We have a chance to do that. And let's see what happens, guys. It does look like Arsenal are going to be top of the Premier League at Christmas. But as we know, notoriously, it doesn't really mean that you're going to win the league. There's still a long way to go, of course, guys. Big up, Roy, by the way. Big up yourself. If we beat West Ham, we'll be 5th. Yes, we will, hopefully. Of course. Big up. Good morning, Prince. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. 8 likes, please, guys. Hit the like buttons. Don't forget 50 likes every single morning on Breaking Dawn, guys. That's what it's all about. It's about 50 likes. Smash a like for Manchester United if you love Manchester United, guys. That's what it's all about. Smash the like button, and the only place to be, Stretford Post, guys. The only real Man United fan channel, of course, guys, there, who's a proven Man United fan at the end of the day, rather than those man-dem merchants, of course, guys. None of that nonsense. Big up the man-dem. Hold tight the man-dem in the house, guys, by the way. Hold tight the man-dem in the house. That's what it's all about, of course. Big up. Ephraim. Sal, is lovely. Liverpool continue to a good run and keep Arne Slot. You do not sack a manager who wins Premier League. You don't sack managers. I think that, you know what, with Arne Slot, you need to keep him in the job, mate. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to trust the process. Do you know what I mean? You really do, you know? And the funniest thing is, right, is that, you know, you want to be a smart ass about Liverpool. You know, everyone thinks Man United are irrelevant, but you know what? Irrelevant elephant. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, Liverpool at the moment are looking pretty irrelevant right now. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the juju? You know what? You just don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Never mess with a good guy. And that's what happens, guys. And you know what? Liverpool are slowly declining. And long may it continue, of course, guys. And it will continue, of course, guys. Why am I going into Indian? I don't know. But anyway, it will continue, guys. It will continue, definitely. Big up. Liverpool won last season because of Klopp. Slot didn't even make any signings that season. And Liverpool fans, some can't understand that, my guy. Roy, I'm not going to disagree with that. Liverpool went on the basis of a manager bounce with the players that were already there through Jurgen Klopp. Now, many of us of a little bit more ball savvy said that Arne Slot is a little bit being overrated a little bit. We said it then. Arne Slot is being overrated a little bit, right? And we want to analyze Arne Slot when he brings in his own players, when certain players are going to start turning against Arne Slot, because I kind of predicted that players would turn against Arne Slot. I don't know about you, but I predicted that they would, because given that Jurgen Klopp is such a personality, Jurgen Klopp is a personality, and he's such a big personality. Even I, right, as a Man United fan, liked Jurgen Klopp. He's the sort of guy I would like to have a football conversation with. You know, with Arne Slot, it's a completely different vibe. It's like he's a bit, you know what, full of himself, a bit arrogant, you know, a bit delusional sometimes. You know, as proven last season when they won the league, he went to Ibiza and done DJing before the league was up. Now, what kind of manager does that kind of thing, that you go off to Ibiza and do clubbing and DJing? It's just not professional, isn't it, at the end of the day? And look, some people say, oh, don't be a Scrooge. Listen, I've worked in music 20 years. I'm all for it. But do it at the end of the season when you played all your games, because at the end of the day, that's a disrespect on the teams that are going to be playing you and the teams that need you to get some points. You need to keep the concentration. Arne Slot is a very blunt guy who is a very dismissive, and I don't think he's anywhere near what Jurgen Klopp was. And I think that Man United, that Liverpool in particular, they're going down the Man United route, in my opinion. In my opinion, they're going down this Man United route where they're going to be, you know what, getting different managers again. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's not easy to bring in a new manager. Now they're going to be going like, oh, Glasner, Areola, Steven Gerrard. They're going to be looking at that. This is exactly what Manchester United were doing. You know, you can't replace Jurgen Klopp, just like you can't replace Sir Alex Ferguson. It's not going to happen, guys. You know what I mean? And Man United were with Sir Alex Ferguson for 26 years, you know, and won so many trophies, many Premier League titles, as we know. Yale, Wilson does score against us. They also got a manager who has a Ruben number. I don't want to talk about that, Yale. Don't want any pessimism. Thank you very much. Stick that where the sun don't shine. Dan, morning, Sal. United fifth best team in the Premier League after 14 games. Sounds great. And we should deserve that, because guess what? We're even better than that. Mate, you know what? Dan, look, you know, those of us who've been watching football a while, and I've seen great football teams at Manchester United in particular, I know that there's something cooking here. I do. And yes, it's not perfect. We've got many issues as well. And those issues are going to be ironed out very, very soon. We hope, inshallah, of course, guys. But one thing I would say about it is that, you know, we keep our feet on the ground. We take it game by game. Of course, as I've said many times on this channel and various other channels, that, you know what, Man United have got a habit of building you up to smash you down. And that's the thing. And just not against Wolves, but not against West Ham, but other teams as well, like Everton and things like that. We'll have the Everton result in our locker. That's the thing. That's what concerns me about this Manchester United team. We have that Everton result in our locker. And this is something that we need to erase from the football club. I don't know whether this is a mentality thing, a cultural problem, an implementation problem, a professionalism problem, a training issue. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, we do have that result in our locker, and we've got to refrain from doing that. Because when you're looking at Man United ultimately, theoretically, should have beaten Nottingham Forest. We should have beaten Spurs, and we should have beaten Everton, guys. That's 9 points right there. And we'll be right up there at the top of the league right now, unexpectedly. Even if we, you know what, won a couple more of those games, not all of them. I'm not talking about all of them, but even if we won a couple of more of those games, we will be even further up that table. Touching Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Touching you, touching me, touching. Absolutely. Hi from Sydney. Big up, Max. How you doing? Dan Under, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. So I hope we have two who are doubt are not in Bremo Delight. So I hope the two. I hope so. Especially in Bremo. And Bremo is such an important player for Man United at the moment. I mean, he's been an absolute steal at the moment. It does look like it at the price we paid for him. He's been the signing of the season for me, guys. I'm talking right now. I'm saying it with chest. Guys. He's been the signing of the season. Mbeumo has been the signing of the season for me, in my opinion. Definitely, 100%. Because I'm looking at him, the impact that he's had on this football team has been astronomical. And he's not walking into a football team that has been winning every single week. You know, he's walking into a football team that were down on their knees, down in the dumps, in the mud, whatever you want to say. And he's actually, you know what, contributed to bringing us up. And I really applaud Mbeumo for his professionalism and the way he's not declined at all. He's left Brentford and he's carrying on doing the same thing at Man United. Nothing has changed. And that's what I like about Mbeumo. Nothing has changed. It's like football is football. Football is football. And that's it. And coming to Man United and performing like he is. And I say the same thing, of course, barring injuries for Cunha as well. Cunha's also done that as well. But obviously, Cunha's been getting a few injuries. He got an injury, so obviously it's halted his progress a little bit. But Cunha hopefully will be back soon. I don't know if he'll be back tonight. He might be on the bench. But he's such an important player for us as well. It brings the team forward. He contributes to our press very, very well, which I like, of course. David, we need to beat West Ham to keep our top 5 alive. We need to start building some momentum, David. Look, at the end of the day, we win tonight. We win against Wolves and Bournemouth. I think that's going to build up pretty stiff momentum, of course, guys. Absolutely be brilliant if we can manage to do that. Obviously, in football, you never know, especially when Man United are concerned. You never know what's going to happen around the corner. Man United, have a habit, and this is what we're concerned about. You never know what Man United are going to turn up. Now, apart from the Everton game, Man United have been very good at home. Man United have been good at home. Man United have been good at Old Trafford, apart from the Everton game. That was the only stumbling block I would look. But it doesn't mean we ignore that because it was a rare occasion. We don't ignore that because that means that this can happen. And how we didn't look like, even against 10 men, scoring against Everton, which was concerning, right? Now, I would like to hope with the win against Crystal Palace, which was a big win, by the way. Lots of people wrote Manchester United off against Crystal Palace. Let's not forget that. We won away at Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace have not lost at home since February. So this is something that we have to take in and use that as momentum, use that as confidence going into this game at Old Trafford. Like, again, I do say this, though. We have played well at Old Trafford. Even against Arsenal, which we lost, we played well. Right, and we were basically cheated out of the game, if you're being honest to ourselves. So at the end of the day, look, let's hope that Man United go into this game, press from the start, get that positive energy, play like you're playing Chelsea, play like you're playing Liverpool, because every game should be like that. The mentality should always be like that. Play like you're playing the big teams, like the cameras are on you. Play like you're playing one of the major teams, and this is a rivalry and this is a derby. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Christian. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Morning, Sal. Good to be breaking dawn. I see you in the Champions League tonight, I believe, Mainu. And I see us in the Champions League tonight. I believe Mainu and Ugarte leaving, and for Anderson and Walton this summer. That would be absolutely fantastic if that did happen, Christian. Absolutely. It would be great if Man United could bring in those players, of course. I spoke a couple of weeks ago about Anderson, about Man United wanting to move forward with the Anderson deal and move that deal closer, meaning January, because obviously Manchester City are hovering around, Manchester City are sniffing around at the moment. But as of yet, no one has made a bid for Anderson. That's not to say that it won't happen in January. A bid for Anderson could happen in January, and it could happen for Man City. So Man United need to work on getting one of those deals done quickly because we're going to lose out on especially Anderson. I'm a big fan of Anderson. Anderson, guys, listen, we'll be lying to say last season we were talking about Anderson because we wasn't. And we're looking at Anderson this season, and he's come on leaps and bounds, man. He's been an absolute revolution in the Premier League, of course, guys. So if we manage to get Anderson, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Anderson and Walton, there you go. It will be an absolute amazing window, of course, guys. Absolutely. But I say the same with Anderson and Stiller, or Walton and Stiller, or Walton and Baleba, or Anderson and Baleba. Obviously, the Baleba question marks are there, and that they should be there. And we have to think maturely in regards to Baleba, because at the end of the day, obviously, Baleba is the only one out of those who's not performing, of course, guys, to the levels that we expected him to perform, of course. Big up Arman, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up LT, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal. Today is the day where we rectify the weaknesses of beating sides where we expected to win by beating West Ham tonight. Come on, my guy. And the intensity that we start the game with will be crucial to us. Exactly, LT. The press from the beginning needs to be potent. The press from the beginning needs to be evident. We need to be going out there and scaring West Ham. Do you know what I mean? It's Old Trafford, 70,000 people. Scare West Ham. I remember a day when we used to walk out the tunnel at Old Trafford and we already won the game in the tunnel. These days people are like, yes, Old Trafford are going to get a major scoop, at the end of the day. So what we need to do, we need to ensure that we win the game today, win the game in the tunnel from the beginning, guys, and say, right, we mean bloody business tonight. We're not going out here for any niceties, hugs and kisses. None of that, guys. We're going out there to win the game, and hopefully Man United do that tonight, of course. Good morning, Dave. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you. The league is so unpredictable this season. Any team can beat any team, and the easier games are hard. Let's just hope that the team turns up today and get 3 points. Obviously, no shit, Sherlock. Big up, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Of course, I'm off to work. I will catch up at the end of the show. Go big up my friend. Enjoy it and take it easy, my friend. Take it easy. Big up Mandem. What's going on? United Mandem. What's going on? Why you got my picture, you mate? Why you got my picture? Big up everyone. United to win 3-0. Big up. You got my picture on your screen. I know you like me, but you know what? Remove my picture or you get blocked. We are winning today because the players will turn up with Amram's tactics. Vamos United. I like the comment though. That's a good comment. But it's a very handsome picture you got there, my friend. A very, very handsome picture. Big up yourself. Lost a lot of weight since then. Actually, that was a Jason McAteer interview, if you know what I mean. David, we need players to replace Ahmad Mbeumo in January. We do, mate. But the unfortunate thing is that we got the 21st of December to the 1st of January. We can't replace them because the window isn't open. Thank you so much, Kenny. Road to 20K. Thank you, Kenny. Much love, my friend. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. And not a bot in sight. Absolutely. It's not Chatterbox. Of course, intensity from 1 minute and finish your chances. Absolutely, Kenny. That is what it's all about. The intensity for the first minute. Go and beat West Ham. It's only West Ham, guys. We know what West Ham are about. West Ham have cost us 2 titles. Let's not forget that, guys. They've cost us 2 titles, West Ham United, not least in 1995, of course. And in theory, maybe we need to thank West Ham because maybe it was partly West Ham's fault that we brought through the class of 92, if you know what I mean. You know, they got a draw against Man United. Fair play to them. That's their final, of course. Dave, the January transfer looks crucial now more than ever. We have to know how we will get till Ahmed and Mbeumo return. Yep. Let's hope that Ineos know that. That's why they get paid the big bucks, isn't it? Is Cunha fit for tonight? Yes, David, he is fit for tonight, David. Whether he plays or not is another story. He's not match fit, quite obviously. He could be on the bench. I don't know if Man United are going to start Cunha today. I have a feeling we're going to play Mount, Xerxes, and Mbeumo, barring any injuries and things like that, of course, guys, because obviously there's rumours about 2 players being out. God forbid, please don't be Mbeumo and please don't be Xerxes tonight, guys. It'll be absolutely atrocious. I mean, some people are saying Bruno, because obviously Bruno held his hamstring, so that is a big thing. Of course, that could be an element. That could be a thing, of course. But Man United don't need injuries at the moment to anybody. Not at the moment, especially with the AFCON coming around the corner, guys. In a couple of weeks, we've got the AFCON. Man United don't need any more bloody injuries. For God forbid. You know what I mean? Christian, we've got to trust the manager. We bought 2 big players in Cunha and Mbeumo, so I believe we can do it again and battle for the league next season. Amram has a plan to bring the glory days. Big up, Christian. No thanks to Ineos for 2-3 players and 1 in the last minute. I really didn't see the lead. I really didn't see Leeds beating Chelsea and Liverpool result. I could see it. It's so unpredictable. The league is shit, basically, Dave. And obviously the league is full of average. There's no one really that stands out for me. And I'm even mean Arsenal. This is one of the worst Premier League leagues I've ever seen. Probably the worst league I've ever seen since I've been watching the Premier League from the beginning. Every single team has severely lacks quality. I think this is why every team can beat every team. And there's not really any team that can, guarantee a win in this Premier League, But what wins the league is consistency. What moves up the table is consistency. And that is ultimately what we have to look at is consistency. It's not all about playing tiki-taka football anymore. It's not all about playing that pretty football and winning 5-0. What Man United need to do is look at winning games and getting back to consistency like we used to do back in the day where we used to win 5, 6, 7, 8 games back in the day, didn't we? We're not doing that anymore. And, let's get 2 games won in a row again. Let's win that game against Wolves on Monday and let's go and beat Bournemouth after that. And then obviously happy days, isn't it? And then you know what who knows where we'll be in the league by then, of course. So that is what's most important, guys. A little bit of consistency, a little bit more action, a little bit more consistency, of course. That is what it's all about. And that's what I want, of course, guys. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. But it is a do-I-die game for Ruben Amorim. Of course it is. Because you know what? Many of us know now. We've seen this story before. We've seen these false storms happen before at Man United where we're excited. We've got a good win. We're doing well. And then, bang, they hit us with this bombshell. You know what I mean? And we're like, where did that come from? We were like that against Everton. We couldn't believe what happened against Everton. How did that happen against Everton? You know what I mean? That's not a managerial problem. That's a mentality problem that has been there for many, many years, because it's something that we've done over many, many years. And I think I posted a video on there, and I say it many times, guys. I'm going to play this video again. I think I still got the video, but I absolutely agree with this video here, and I think he's speaking absolute facts, guys. If you know what I mean, I think he's speaking absolute facts.
We didn't lose yesterday because of the 3-4-3. Let's face the real issues. Let's face the real issues. We did not lose yesterday's game because Ruben Amorim was our manager. Yes, he has a blame, which I'm going to talk about. He has a blame. And I think I will say that in fact of who is responsible for the mentality of the team? The manager. Who is responsible for understanding the emotional and mental button of his team? The manager. But yesterday's game, in my own view, is what I've seen for 10 years in Manchester United. Manchester United as a team doesn't know how to take advantages or use advantages. How many times in our era have we come to a position where we say, if we win this our next game, we will move from this place to top 4, or we will move from here to first. And then the game we are saying that if we win, we come. And when that game comes, we lose it woefully. It might even be against a team that is not good. We will just say, if you can just win, these people are not that okay. If you can just win them, we will just get to top 4, or we'll get to first, or we'll get to second. And how many times have we seen that over the years? That when that game actually now come and we play, they beat us woefully. The ability to make use of advantages is not in our blood. It has not been there for 10 years. So in as much as Ruben Amorim has blame, because he's the current Manchester United manager, is responsible for understanding the mental button and the emotional button of his team. He has to know it, which I'm going to analyze further. But this is a trend I have seen over the years. United doesn't take advantages. When everybody loses and you expect United to win, they will also lose. It's our blood. That's for 10 years, 10 plus years. That's what we have been doing.
Absolutely brilliant there. He's absolutely spot on. And this is what we're talking about. This is not something that has been happening under Ruben Amorim. This is something that's been going on for 10 years. And this is something that people don't really analyze. They don't look at it in detail and stuff like that. Whenever we're handed an opportunity, and we've already been handed a couple of opportunities in the league this season, we don't take it. We don't take it. And that is a mentality thing. And it's so predictable. And this is something that we need to concentrate on tonight. That we have to take this opportunity, because there's only so many opportunities you get in the Premier League. Eventually, you get no more opportunities. You're too far behind. So we got to make sure that we take the opportunity tonight, grasp it from the hands, and make sure that we go on and qualify for that Champions League this season. That's what it's all about. Take the opportunity. Fortune favors the brave, of course, guys. Fortune favors the brave.
This is what fucking happens when you've no accountability, you cowardly little fraud!
Exactly that, in a very articulated way. Don't be a cowardly little fraud tonight, United. We don't want you to be a cowardly little fraud. What we want you to go out there and believe that it's only West Ham, just like Alex Ferguson, when we were playing Tottenham all those years ago, said, it's only Spurs, guys. Don't be a cowardly little fraud like Liverpool, and make sure you win the game tonight against West Ham and move further away from Liverpool. Absolutely, further away. And then, do you know what? Who knows what can happen? The world is your oyster, of course, guys, and that's what we say. Qualifying for the Champions League this season is so important because Man United obviously can build on that. We get into next season with that 100 million Champions League money. We get into that next season with the Champions League money, and then we can build from there, and we could look at even further ahead of us, and maybe, who knows, challenge for the league title. You never know, guys. But ultimately, what we need to do this season is make sure we get in those Champions League positions. We've got an opportunity here. The league is not close. The league is close. The league is not wide open, like wide from top to bottom. There is actually a chance to get in the top 4. And we need to take advantage of that. And I think this needs to be drilled into every single player at Man United. Now, I know there was an interview the other day with Ahmad and players of that ilk, and they were saying that, yes, we can win the league. we can win the league. You know, we can. Of course we can. But it's up to you guys to do it. We know you got the talent. We know you got the talent, but have you got it up here? And that's what I'm thinking of. Have you got it up here? We know you got the talent, but you need it up here as well. That is what's most important, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. And you know what I would always say?
Don't underestimate Manchester United.
Don't underestimate the Manchester United. To all you people who underestimate Manchester United, that one's for you, guys. Irrelevant Man United, of course. I love being irrelevant because whilst we've been irrelevant, we're still winning. And that is what it's all about, guys. And tonight, we need to carry on the good form. We are in good form, guys. We've lost 1 in 7. That's not bad, but we need to improve on that and get better and move up the win rate. Of course, guys, that's what we need to do. Of course, and that is what it is all about. Of course, guys, absolutely. Of course, big up. Big up everyone who's joining me right now. Of course, let me just say good big up to the legend that is Benny. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well, Benny. Good to see you, brother. It's crazy league this year. Lots of average teams, as you say, Sal. If we can get some consistency, we'll be in the mix. If Ineos Glazer back the manager in January, this is ultimately what the biggest stumbling block is, isn't it, Benny? Is whether Ineos back him or not. You know, can they back him? Will they back Ruben Amorim? Because at the end of the day, this is their guy. Ruben Amorim is their guy. He's the guy that they brought in. He's the guy that they trust. So, look, I've heard a lot of buzzwords. I've heard a lot of false dawns, false promises, stuff like that. It's about time they prove it now. They prove that they're backing Ruben Amorim here, Benny, you know, and if they can bring in a couple of players in January to help, just to get us over the line for Champions League football, and then next season and next summer, of course, when we're in the transfer window, we could look at finding ways in which we can challenge for the league. You know what I mean? And that's what we should be doing, right? You never know what happens this season, of course, but I'm not saying that Man United are going to challenge for the league this season. Of course, Arsenal are on their own at the moment, of course, but you never know what happens. But what's key is this: getting into momentum, getting into an element of momentum, winning games is what is the most important thing. Of course, of course. Big up, everyone, of course. Dave, facts. The league is so bad. City's defense is so leaky. Arsenal, the focus on set pieces. What we should do is when teams are dropping points, we should capitalize to make sure we get in the top 4. And this is exactly what my guy said on that video, is that over the last 10 years, even longer probably, we haven't capitalized on that. We haven't took our chances when they've been given to us. Sometimes we've been given an opportunity and we haven't taken it, you know, and sometimes it's opportunities that you didn't expect. And you know what I mean? Like the team in front of us loses against a small team and we're like, we got an opportunity here. And then we don't grasp in that opportunity and we don't take that opportunity. And I think that is the problem, of course. LT, I just hope that Amorim was playing mind games when he said 2 injuries. Maybe do a spot check if leaks are still there, or just make West Ham wonder how we're going to line up. It could be LT. And you know what? I don't disagree with that. I think if Ruben Amorim is indeed doing that and he's playing mind games, good play, mate. Fair play, because you're confusing West Ham. That's what you got to do. You got to confuse them. You got to play mind games. You got to. However, do I think so? I mean, I don't know why he would say 2 injured players so specific. I don't know why he would do that. You know, I don't think wishing injuries and stuff like that. I don't think so. But you never know. That's one thing I would say at the end of the day. Christian, we are the dark horses of winning the league. Stranger things have happened. Absolutely, mate. We lost an 8-point lead with a month to go in the Premier League. Let's not forget that when Man City won it in 2012. United, we got to believe one game at a time. This is exactly right, Christian. One game at a time. I love the positivity, Christian. We should never give up. I know it's highly unlikely. I know it's difficult, but it's not impossible, as you said there, my guy. We have to win every game that is brought in front of us. Win next game, win next game, win. By the time you know it, who knows? You might be up that league. Who knows? You know what I mean? We might be playing Arsenal at the Emirates in a month's time with everything to play for. That's what I want. I want those old games against Arsenal where, you know what, it was almost a title challenge. Everyone is writing Man United off. Everyone speaks about Man United as a title challenger and laughs it off. Let's change the narrative. You're there. The games are there to win. That's exactly what it is. You know, everyone has the opportunity to make a difference here, to make history. Go out there and do it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And starting with West Ham and then Wolves and then Bournemouth. You can't wish for 3 easier games than that, guys. I'm not being disrespectful to those teams. But in our view, in our opinion, you can't expect easier games than that. We got to win those 3 games. Absolutely. Absolutely. United Mandem. Big up Mandem. Big up the Mandem. I'm the inventor of the Mandem opinion of football. The Mandem opinion is a Mandem opinion of Tacticos for Dummies. I've actually got the book, Tacticos for Dummies, of course, guys. This is a good channel. Everything is so welcoming. I will share it with my fellow Mandem. Let's get Sal to 100K subscriber. Big up United Mandem. Big up yourself. Change the picture though, brother. If you could do that, that would be nice. I'm not a fan of that picture. You can use my picture, but use a much more flattering picture. That would be lovely, my friend. That would be absolutely fantastic. Sal, thank you for educating the Mandem. Many people are stuck in their ways and don't want to listen to the reason with their dated knowledge of tactics. Let's get the fan base standards up. Big up, mate. Big up. Of course. What do you think the score would be today? I already said it yesterday. I think 2-0 to Man United tonight. 2-0. LT, the season consistency is the key to European places because the league itself is consistent, and that's why Arsenal are the only team which are more than 3 points ahead of the next team. I mean, Arsenal winning the league, Arsenal will probably be, and I'm not being disrespectful here, guys, but I want to know your opinion. Arsenal will probably be the worst Premier League winners of all time, along with Leicester. I even think Leicester were play better football. I think Arsenal will be the worst Premier League winners of all time. I actually think that. I think there's been far, far better Arsenal sides than this last 15 years. Absolutely. Sal, 100% agree with you. Big up, Benny. Big up, my friend. Sal, I will change the mentality of a lot of Mandem, the mutants that want Amarim sat and United to lose and prove a point. I don't know whether you're trolling or not, mate, but I agree with that anyway. United Mandem. I don't know whether you're trolling or not, but that is a true statement, at the end of the day, whether it's a troll or not. Wanting your team to lose so that you can justify a point, so that you can prove Mandem wrong or prove someone else wrong, is not supporting your football team. Not looking at culture, context, and all that is a dumb opinion of football. Do you know what I mean? Shakti, Arsenal ain't winning anything. Shakti, come on, Shakti. I love the positivity, my guy. Will Arsenal fall off? If Arsenal fall off this season, guys, I will be here to take it. I will be soaking in those tears, guys. Absolutely. Do you think we beat Wolves and Bournemouth? Yes, of course, man. Yes, I do. Dave, we started the season with the hardest games of all teams in the league. Right now, we have the favourable 3 games to play. Let's get the wins, and it will really help us. Yeah, pound for pound, David, we did have the hardest start to the season. We had a very, very difficult start to the season, something that people conveniently neglect, of course, guys. Man United have had a very difficult start to the season, and any team in this league would struggle with the opening 10 games. 40% of our opening 10 games were teams from the top 4. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about here. And we're not even mentioning Brighton and teams like that, and Sunderland, who are up the league as well. And we all know how good Sunderland are, by the way. Look at Sunderland at the moment. You know what I mean? And we beat Sunderland comfortably. The irrelevant team from Manchester beat Sunderland comfortably. Let's not forget that, of course. If Arsenal don't win the league, surely Arteta should be arrested. I mean, they got every opportunity to win the league. I mean, I just can't see where they're going to drop points. That's what my theory, my bone is with it. I just can't see where they're going to drop points, where those drop points going to come from. That's the only thing with it. They're not going to drop many points. This league is just they've been the most consistent of the inconsistent Premier League, and Arsenal haven't really changed as much as they have in the last few years, but they that's the difference, isn't it? They haven't changed, and they're winning the games like they did a few seasons ago. Do you think we'll get 9 points out of 9 the next 3 games? It will put pressure on Ineos Glazers to splash out on players in January because we will be in the mix. It can work both ways, Benny. Listen to this theory, mate. If Man United win 3 out of 3, right, and Man United go into Christmas on form, will it make Ineos think, we don't need to sign anyone? That is, for me, that is how Ineos think, in my opinion. They think like that. They don't think like how we think, Benny. They don't think like, right, we won 3 games in a row. How are we going to push on? How are we going to get higher in the league? They don't think like us. This is the thing, isn't it? They might think, oh, Man United are doing fine. We're doing just fine. Everything all good. We don't need to invest in the team. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? And that is the scary thing about it when you're thinking about Ineos. Christian, tonight can be our biggest win of the season, and that should give us a belief to go for the league. Big up, Christian. Every game right now, I would say to you, Christian, is the biggest game of the season. Whether it be West Ham tonight, whether it be Wolves next game, whether it be Bournemouth the game after that. Every game is going to be the biggest game of the season for Manchester United because every single one of the teams in and around us are going to be looking at that Champions League spot. The Champions League need Manchester United. The Champions League need Man United. We need the Champions League. They need us. The Champions League is not the same without Manchester United. Just like the Champions League is not the same without AC Milan and teams like that. The teams that built the Champions League and made it what it is, of course, guys. And the Champions League needs it. It needs a Manchester United. Of course it does. And it will be better for it, But it's up to us to qualify it. It's up for us to qualify for the Champions League and get into those positions. We've got an opportunity to get into those positions, of course. Ephraim, Sal, I think Aston will give us a hard game for Arsenal. They will give a good game to Arsenal. We've got Aston Villa next month, of course, during the AFCON. So that's going to be a worrying thing. Of course, we've got Aston Villa away from home. It's going to be a difficult game. And you know what? I'm not looking forward to that game because obviously Aston Villa notoriously are very difficult to play against. However, we do have a good record at Villa Park. That's going to be a big game for Arsenal, as is the City game, of course, guys. Arsenal got to go to City. Arsenal got to play Chelsea again. They've got to play United, of course, as well. There's a few games there, but they got the momentum. They got the 5 points ahead, and obviously everyone would want to be in their position at the moment. The one thing about Arsenal, which separates them from a lot of teams at the moment, is their balance. Their balance and their hard-to-beat mentality. Whenever Arsenal play, they never look as though they're struggling. They always look as though they're in control of the game. In far contrast to what United are at the moment. United always look like we're not in control of the game, unless we get 1-0, 2-0, we're never in control. And that's the thing. But that comes with time, of course. Arteta's been there 5-6 years. But one thing I would say about Arteta and Arsenal, they have to win the league this season. There is no excuses this time. They have to win the league this season. They got a squad. Everything is there for them on a plate. The league is shit. Everything is there for them on the plate. And that's what I would say about that. Dave, I'm seeing a lot of people already questioning the Cunha signing since he hasn't got a goal and assist, in my opinion. He's got a lot of goals and assists, in my opinion. I think we should just give him time and it will be good. This is what we're talking about, the dumb opinion, the man-dem opinion about football, Dave. And this is what I was talking about, the man-dem of football. He's been very influential in that team. And we can see it when he's been injured. He doesn't do just assists. It's not just about assists and the goals. It's about how he presses the team, how he presses on the pitch, how his influence is there, how he causes havoc in the defense that causes us to score goals. People don't look at that. They just look at the simplistic way of football. The man-dem simplicity. That's what it is at the end of the day. The man-dem look at football in a simplistic way. Tacticals for dummies. And that's what they do. And they don't look at, but what in context, what has he done? Look at that move he did in that game, what created that. Look at this, what happened to that. I actually think he's been brilliant. I do. I think he's been brilliant. He's not at his level yet. Ruben Amorim said that yesterday. He's not at his best level, but he will be. Don't worry about that. He will be at his best level. We need signings in January. Absolutely, man. I was talking about goals scored when talking about the biggest win, Sal. Talk about it. I don't know what you mean by that. And Bremer laughed when Ahmed said he thinks that United win the league. Did he? I don't think he did, mate. He smiled. He didn't laugh. Anyone question the league? The signing of Cunha hasn't a clue about football. Yeah, exactly. Big up. United man-dem. You know, the same 37 likes. What are we doing here? Sal is giving an unfiltered content. Let's push it to 50 likes, man. Then big up everyone, guys. Don't forget to push it to 50 likes. Thank you so much. I thought we laughed. Now, yeah, look, we're not bringing any negativity away from this stream, guys. We are getting in the mood for the game tonight. We're not bringing any speculation or anything like that in the game tonight. Look, we want to win the league. We can. We need reinforcements. We do. We do need signings, of course. We do. We need 5 or 6 more. Then we can sort of seriously think about challenging. At the moment, you look at our squad, and our squad is not where we want it to be at the moment. There's still lots of weaknesses in our squad. 1 or 2 injuries, as we know, we're left to the bare bones. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're a couple of injuries right now from playing the youth. That is where we are at the moment. So Man United do need backing. Ruben Amorim does need backing. Ruben Amorim does need players in January. I really do think. Simon, good morning. My worry is Ineos outside a midfielder like João Gomez or Conor Gallagher in January, and they would only sign one of Wharton or Baleba in the summer. I'd rather get two of the latter in the summer. At the moment, João Gomez and Conor Gallagher are probably better than Baleba, my friend. I would say that. Baleba's not been playing well at all. João Gomez is a better player than Baleba as well. At the end of the day, if we got Conor Gallagher is a very underrated player. There's a lot of slanderous natures around him, you know, at the end of the day. And he's not a bad player statistically. And as a player in the Premier League, he's a good player. Will he be the player that I would say that would be my first choice? Absolutely not. No, he wouldn't. But at the end of the day, if we got Conor Gallagher and Anderson or Wharton in the summer, I'm not going to sit here and be crying about it. I don't think that would be that bad. I'll be honest with you. Yes, it could be better, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But this does depend on, this does depend on Manchester United qualifying for the Champions League as well. We have to remember that because we forget this. Why would Anderson and Wharton come to Man United if we don't qualify for the Champions League? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Benny, I can see Lacey making his debut tonight. If we are winning the game, I can see him get 15 minutes tonight. I think it depends how well Man United are winning the game. If Man United are winning 3-0 with a few minutes to go, then yeah, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, bring him on. But again, I did say this the other day about the environment that you got to bring these young players in. You have to bring these young players into an environment that is positive, because, for example, many people are saying bring on Shea Lacey against Everton. But it wouldn't be ideal for him and his development because obviously it's an awful experience, as your first game and stuff like that, to lose with 10 men, you know what I mean? And I would love that when Man United win 3-0, 2-0 or 3-0, a few minutes to go, Shea Lacey comes on. That would be absolutely brilliant. 10 minutes would be brilliant. Rance said that the players' individual brilliance is what is carrying us and not Amram's fraudulent tactics. Why is he so mad at Amram? It seemed personal and not related to football. Now, this is the old chestnut, isn't it, Mandem? My friend, I don't know who you are. I don't know whether you're trolling, but again, a good comment. What I would say is this. People are entitled to their opinion, mate. But it doesn't mean that I respect their opinions. Ryan's done that with Erik ten Hag, and we've been proven right about Erik ten Hag. It's nothing to do with the managers. It's the culture and the context around the football club. Right? I don't know if I draw them a picture. Maybe I do. But let me just tell you this, right? When Ruben Amorim wins, it's the players. When he loses, it's the manager. He's on the road to nowhere. So the most important thing for Ruben Amorim to do to counter absolutely everything and shut up the mandem is win games. And that's all we can say. Win games, move on, and that's all we can do. And then nobody has a leg to stand on. Whilst he's losing games against Everton, he's going to get flack. He's going to get criticised. Even though we know that those players are weak, the manager is still going to get the flack. He's still going to get the blame. It's simplistic. It's dumbed down opinion on football, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one. And that's exactly what it is at the end of the day. Good morning, Revet 7. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So if the players don't shit themselves like they did against Everton and Ote is rocking, we'll beat West Ham 3-1. Come on, my guy. Big up. David, we need a huge backing. Our bench is the weakest on the league. Our first 11 is that strong. Not that strong. Agreed. And then the team after our first 11 is even worse. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Not strong. Big up, Dave. Yeah. What the heck is that avatar, man? That avatar. Yeah. Guys, don't use my pictures, please. Without my opinion, United manager, individual brilliance is part of managers' tactical setup. Managers take advantage of the brilliance. That's not certain players get a team built around what others take set pieces. Manager is the one, at the end of the day, it's a collective, Simon. It's a collective. When Ruben Amorim had the players in at halftime against Crystal Palace, and we were diabolical in the game, and we went from 1-0 down to winning the game 2-1, is that not the manager? This is the thing. The manager gave those players a rollicking, right? And I know people at Crystal Palace, I knew that he was throwing teacups across, right? The manager gave the players a rollicking. They came out the second half and they won the game. That's great management. Give the manager his flowers. Give him his flowers, for goodness sake. When a player does an individual brilliance, we're giving the player his flowers every single time, ain't we? That's what we do. But it's the manager and the players as a collective. Don't just say when we lose, it's the manager, it's the manager, it's the manager. Or when we win, it's the players, it's the players, it's the players. Because that's not how it works. You know what I mean? It is a collective at the end of the day. The manager sets it up. The manager influences the team. The manager takes the team on the training field. And it's up to those players to pull it in practice. You could lead a cow to the river. It doesn't mean the cow's going to drink from the river. Do you know what I mean? You know, so you could be the best manager in the world. You could lead them to the promised land. It doesn't mean that they're going to show up. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. I can also see people waiting for West Ham to win. They can push Amram out agenda. Also, do they just want him gone? But they can't mention appropriate replacement. Not sure. Big up. I can already see people waiting for West Ham to win, so they can push. Yeah, that's what they want, mate. Absolutely. Good day, Saviour. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. 3-1, he says. Big up, my friend. Who is the player you think that improved the most so far this season? Man. I don't know, mate. I think they've all improved slightly, not immensely. If I was to play devil's advocate, I'd say sure. And he ain't been brilliant, though. But big up, Sal. When we will point a moral of out our set pieces, coach. Like, I know, mate. Man United do need to fix their set pieces. Whether we need to fix our set pieces or we need to get someone else taking them, I don't think Bruno's a good set piece taker. I really don't. And that was proven against Palace because Mount scored. You know, because Mount scored. That was proven against Crystal Palace, of course. So because Mount scored that goal, it wasn't Bruno Fernandes, of course. So, yeah, look, we'll be supporting Man United. We'll be hoping that Man United win. And that is all that matters, guys. Big up, Faisal. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. We'll be supporting Man United. We'll be hoping Man United win. But Hulk Bakr will be hoping Man United win the game. That is what the most important thing is for us as Man United fans. There are some people out there be looking at West Ham winning, so they could say, I told you so, bruv. He's a fraud, bruv. Oh my God, he's a Portuguese fraud, bruv. So it seems you hit a nerve when you mentioned the Mandem mentality. Who is the guy and uses your avatar? We are all to discuss what is going on with United, not lazy trolling. Yeah, look, he's written through a few good comments, to be honest with you. But yeah, you have to change the avatar, my friend. Otherwise, I'm going to have to block you, my friend. The one who's using my avatar. Big up, Dave. Mandem blames everything on the manager. Nothing is therefore I can't listen to those guys. Absolutely, David. Bruno is out for the game. Well, Mainu got his chance now. Yeah. Well, if he is out for the game, I don't know. It's speculation at the moment. Nobody has said anything. You know, nobody has said anything. Sal, who said I'm the only one allowed to troll here? You're the only one, SLD. Yes, so he's on a tightrope. He's on a tightrope. Don't worry about it. Saviour, let's wait and see. In January, management should sign 2 or more in January to improve the squad. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Hopefully, he is backed in January, and that is what the most important thing is, guys. Absolutely, you know. And to be honest with you, hopefully that Ruben Amorim will get backed. And that is what needs to happen for us to qualify for the Champions League. We got an opportunity. Nobody's running away with it. Let's aim high, and that's what we need to do. Win tonight against West Ham, and there we go. We go from there. I think Ugarte should leave. I think he will. You know what? Sometimes, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes that's all it is at the end of the day. We hope it works out, but it just doesn't work out at the end of the day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes it just, sadly, you don't get what you want. You don't get what you deserve. It's just the way it is, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. But yeah. Big up the Mandem. Big up the Mandem. Hold tight the Mandem in the house. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, man. Hold tight the Mandem in the house, by the way, guys. Trolling, they're trolling themselves. Anyone doing the Mandem thing, they're trolling themselves, because at the end of the day, that is the Mandem, isn't it? You know, the Mandem opinion is a bit like really sacrificing your IQ level to go down to their level to have a comment about football is ridiculous. You know, if they had a IQ as high as their cholesterol, maybe they would have a good opinion, but they don't, unfortunately. You know what I mean? They got as much IQ as the hairs on their head. Big up, Dave. I'm really concerned about the right side with the makeshift signings or players currently at the club. would we use till Ahmad? I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? The only thing I can envision, Dave, is Man United move Ahmad into the move Mainu into the midfield, move Bruno as a number 10, and move Dalot as the right, Dorgu as the left. But then when we do that, you're looking at the team and you're looking at it. It's looking very, very thin, very threadbare. That's what we're looking at the moment. Benny. If Bruno is out tonight, it will be interesting to see how our balance the team would be. And I'm going to say we will win comfortable because we control the midfield. Benny, you know what? If I speak, I will be in trouble, mate. I will be in trouble if I speak. I mean, because, you know, I probably think that as well. I think that will be the case as well. We'll control the midfield. We'll control everything and stuff like that. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? It will be funny. It will be funny because at the end of the day, that's what we all believe. You know what I mean? That's what we all believe. We believe it, you know, and I believe that the midfield will be comfortable if Bruno doesn't play. But we don't know. We don't know if it is Bruno. Let's remember that. Yeah, you can't speak on that. Big up, guys. Big up everyone in the stream. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new as well, guys. Let's move up. Let's get up those subscribers, guys. Destination 20K, and we go from there. I've only been around less than a year, so at the end of the day, with live content, so fantastic. It's moving up. And guys, listen, Sal, we sing the same hymn shit. We do, brother. We do all day long, mate. All day long. And guys, I will be back for the watch along. Don't miss the watch along, guys. It's going to be a big one, a very important one. It's going to be emotional, as it always is, guys. Smash a like. Don't forget to put your notifications on. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon, guys, later on. Peace.